Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Divine, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to make this beautiful satin cowl neck dress. Please make sure to like, comment, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not yet subscribed. Now let's get into this video. So first off, I'm going to start off by marking my shoulder measurements divided by 2, and on there I'm going to mark 1 inch, and that is for our shoulder slope. Then I'm marking 3 inches for our neckline, and now I'm just going to connect the 3 inches to the 1 inch slope that we marked. I'm just going to connect it together to look like this. Now on here, as you can see, I'm marking 9 inches. Now you can make yours 8 inches or shorter because it's a sleeveless dress, but since I was going to wear mine with a garment underneath, I didn't really bother about that, so I marked 9 inches. And now I'm marking 11 inches for my bust point. I'm marking 11 inches here, and now the next measurement I'll be marking is 18 inches, and this is for my waist length. You can measure yours to know what your waist length is, but mine is 18 inches. Now from the 18 inches marked, I'm going to mark 9 inches for my hip point. Or hip length, I don't really know, but yeah, for my hip, where I'm going to take my hip measurements, that is what I marked. I marked 9 inches from my waist. Now I'm going to mark 54 inches from the top to the bottom. I'm going to mark 54 inches because that is going to be my dress length. You can mark how many inches you want yours to be, but I just want mine to be very long, so I made mine 54 inches, and I added 2 extra inches for folding. And yeah, now I'm just going to connect the lines. Now I'm connecting this line, first line. I'm connecting my waistline, making a straight line so I can put my waist measurement on it. Now this is my hip line or hip point, and I'm marking a straight line on it. Now on the length of my dress, I'm also marking a straight line, and I'm going to cut off the excess. So here I'm marking my 9 inches proper, that is for my arm. I'm marking it proper, and I'm going to connect the line also. Now I'm just naming it my chest line, my bust point, waist, hip point, and dress length. That is what I am marking. And I'm going to connect my 9 inches line. I'm making sure that I have 9 inches so I can draw a straight line on there. Now I'm going to divide 9 inches by 2. Okay, so I'm taking my chest line measurements, that is my bust measurements, but my bust measurement is 40 divided by 4 divided by 4, giving me 10. Plus I added 1 inch allowance, but you can use half, it just depends on you. So I'm dividing the 9 inches into 2, and of course we're gonna have 4.5, and then I'm at the 4.5, and on there I'm going to go in by half inch, and I'm just going to connect it to to the line that we have here. That is my chest line divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. I'm going to connect it to the half inch, as you can see here in the video, and then I'm going to connect it from the top also. And here we have arm line. So next thing I'm going to be marking is my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 32 inches divided by 4. I have 8 inches plus 1 inch for allowance, that is 9. Now for the hip, my hip measurement is 40 divided by 4 is 10 plus 1 inch sewing allowance, making it 11. And on here I'm also going to mark 11 inches as well, because I want it to be straight from my hip to my dress length. I hope I'm making sense. Please ask me any question if you are a little confused, and I'm sure to reply. Now I'm just going to connect the whole lines. I'm just going to connect the points. Now I'm just going to mark a straight line from the hip to the dress length, because we have 11 inches on the hip and also 11 inches on the dress length. That is because I want it to be straight, because we're going to be adding our slit to it. Now I'm going to cut off the excess here, down there. I'm going to cut off the excess. So I'm just going to connect the line of our chest length or chest points and our bust points. Now this is not necessary, but I'm just trying to make a basic dress pattern, and I'm just going to mark 3 inches, and that is for like if you're making the front neckline of a dress, but it is not necessary at all. Now from the top part, I'm going to be taking 6 inches, because that is how low I want my dress to be, 6 inches. So I'm just marking 6 inches and then drawing a straight line on it. So this top part that I'm cutting off is useless. We are not going to be using it at all. So I'm just cutting off. I'm just, cutting off the ones we don't need. So yeah, that is what I'm doing. Cut, and cut. So this is what we are going to be needing to make our dress pattern. Now for the back, I'm going to fold in our chest points like so, or our chest length. I just folded in the total 9 inches that I measured for the arm, and I marked 1.5 inches, as you can see, for my zipper allowance. Now I'm placing the back on the 1.5 inches, and I already cut it. So this is what it's looking like. I'm going to slit this side to make it into 2. Now I'm marking 5 inches from the zipper side. I marked 5 inches, and I'm going to connect it to the top like so, and that is just to have a little bit slant at the back of our dress. You can skip this if you don't want it, it's all fine. Now for the front pattern, moving on to the front pattern, I'm going to be cutting from the chest point or chest line. I'm not going to be cutting it off totally. I'm just going to be cutting off and leaving a little on there, and then I'm going to measure out, because I want our cowl to be to be down. So I'm just putting on another paper underneath like so, and then I'm making sure that I have 5 inches, and then I'm just using my sellotape to tape it down nice and neat. So I'm just drawing a line, just drawing a long line like you can see, and then I'm just going to draw also a straight line from this side also. This is just to make everything well put together. Now I'm just gonna cut on the lines. Now this is what our front pattern is going to be looking like, and now it's time to place it on our fabric and cut. So you have to place it on the fabric like so, making sure that the straight part is on the folded part of the fabric. I hope you understand. And then you're going to pin it down all the way all round, so you don't make any mistakes while cutting. So I'm just pinning it with my pins to put them all in place. Like I said, make sure that the straight parts of your pattern paper is on the folded parts of the fabric, so you don't cut your clothes into two instead of making it how it's supposed to look like. So I'll just pin it all the way all round and cut. So I already cut out the excess. Now I'm just going to trim it perfectly. That is what I'm doing here now, trimming it up nice and perfectly. And then I'm just going to unpin the pins and open it up, and you see what our front is looking like. So this is what it's looking like right now. Now to cut the neckline, that is or you can say the bias for the back neckline, this is how I'm going to do it. I folded the fabric and then placed my back neckline on it like so, and I'm just going to trace it with my scissors and cut. Now you have to be very careful while doing this so you don't cut on your fabric. Okay, now so here we have the bias for our back neckline. Now I'm going to measure 3 inches on both ends. Now remember that this is going to be cut into two because we're going to have one for each side of the back piece. Remember, we have 2 back pieces. So I'm marking my 3 inches this side, and I also mark it the other side, and then I'll just draw a straight line connecting the 3 inches, and then I'll just cut it into 2. And after cutting it into 2, we're going to have 2 bias for the 2 back necklines. Now for the front neckline, I'm going to fold my front into 2 like so, and then I already folded the fabric I'm going to be using for it into 2 also. Now make sure that your fabric is 1 inch more than your underarm. Make sure that the folded part of the front piece is on the folded part of the fabric that we are cutting, as you can see, like so. Like the folded part of our front piece is on the folded part of the fabric that we're using to cut the bias. Now pin it properly with your pins, and I'm making sure that I have more than 1 inch or 1 inch after my underarm, because we're also going to be using this fabric to fold the under arm to fold the arm part, since we're not going to having sleeves on it. So I'm just cutting off the excess. Now for the bias, I have 21 inches long of fabric and 2 inches for the width. Now I folded it into two and I sewed in half an inch, and now I'm just turning it over using a broomstick or any long stuff you can get. I'm just turning it over to make our strap, our hand straps. Now you can see these are the two straps for the left hand side and for the right hand side that we are going to be using. Now I already attached the facing or bias on the front, on my front piece. Then I sewed it all the way from my left underarm to my right underarm. Then I made a small opening where I can insert my strap. So you have to insert your straps on both sides like so, and then stop stitch it, and that is how to insert the strap. Now for the back, this is the back piece, so I'm placing it right side facing right side. You also place it right side facing right side when you are doing for the front, and then I'll place it also right side facing right side. And I sewed in the 1.5 inches I left. I sewed it from the bottom, and then I measured, as you can see, I measured 8 inches or 9 inches from the top, and that is where I inserted my zip. Then after putting on the facing for the back, I also went ahead and turned it and top stitched it, and that is why it's looking like this, all neat and nice. Now for the zipper, I'm just going to go ahead and insert my zipper to it after I must have sewed it from the. Now this is what our zip is looking like, all neat. Now our back piece is now ready. Now it's time to join it to the front piece. Now I'm just going to place it like this. I'm going to place it like this, right side facing right side, the front and the back piece. Then I'm going to pin it all the way, both the right side and the left side. And after pinning it all the way, the next thing I'm going to do is to sew in by half an inch that we left for allowance. Now if you left half, no, I'm going to sew in by 1 inch because I used 1 inch for the allowance. But if you left half an inch, then I'm going to sew in half an inch. And that is what I did. After pinning all the both sides, I went in and sewed half an inch on the left side. I went in and sewed 1 inch, on the left side, and 1 inch on the right side. Now this is what it's looking like. Now to insert the strap at the back, you're going to measure 4 inches from your zipper on both sides, and that is what I'm marking now. And then you're going to open it up. You're going to open it up and then put in the strap like this. I made mine crisscross, but you can do yours like this if you want it. And this is what our bag is looking like. Now I also went ahead and I measured 8 inches from the bottom part, and that is what I marked here. And then I'm going to loosen it up and make a slit there, and that is it for the dress. So what I'll do next is just to fold the bottom part and then sew it sew off the 2 inches I left there. Yes, I'm going to do that, fold it, and that is it for this dress. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like this video, share, comment, and please, if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. It's free. Just click this subscribe button and click on the notification bell beside it so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. See you in my next video. Bye.